It is so hard to believe that this absolutely gorgeous, super clean, beautifully modern looking gaming PC actually used to look like this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Buildup Challenge, the series where we build and sell gaming PCs until I have earned enough money selling our systems to build an absolutely epic gaming PC that's going to belong to you. And it's been a few weeks since I have seen you guys, so I hope you guys are doing well, but there is a lot that we need to catch up on. For starters, the mini ITX PC that we put together with the 10400F and the 5060 graphics card, you guys had suggested that I sell that system for $900. Now, we weren't able to get $900 for that system. It did sit on Marketplace for a little bit longer than usual, but we did end up selling that system for $800. And the big black and blue 1440p monster that we put together with the 10700F and the 3070 Ti, you guys had some wild suggestions on what I should sell that system for, but it all came out to an average of $980, and we were able to sell that system for $920. Now, before those two systems sold, I had $1,141 in total money earned to build your gaming PC. But now that we've sold both of those systems, has anybody done the math on what we're at now? We have earned $2,861 to build your gaming PC. And we started this season with $0. Now, this is episode 17 of our challenge, so let's go over today's project. So what we have here today is your typical pandemic boredom killer. It's a Ryzen 5 3600 CPU and a 1650 Super graphics card. It does have 32 gigs of RAM, even though they are not in the correct channels. It has a 550 watt power supply and a 500 gig NVMe. And it's all packed in this filthy case. And I was able to pick up this whole thing for only $190. I'm pretty sure the only reason I was able to get it for that price is because no one else was making offers, because this thing is absolutely disgusting. Now, because this is a build-up challenge episode, we need to make some money off this system. Now, realistically, I could probably just take this thing apart, clean it, put it back together, and I'd make a little bit of money. But where is the fun in that? I don't want to do that. I want to completely transform this thing, and I think that with the pieces that I have picked up for our system here, it's going to do exactly that. And just like always, after we put this thing together, we'll test some gameplay on it, see how well our system performs, and then you guys can help me come up with a list price on what we're going to try and sell this system for, so we can make a bunch of money and add it to our bankroll to build your system. That sounds good to me. Does it sound good to you? If it sounds good to you, then we'll just go get started. just stubbed my toe. Really hurts. So I'm really not all that set on this design choice. I really think that maybe I should have gone with the white CPU cooler rather than the black CPU cooler. I had them both in my cart and I went back and forth with it for a little while, but ultimately I went with the black, and I kind of feel like I should have gone with the white. Now, I was also toying with the idea of painting the GPU white, but I feel like if I was going to paint the GPU white, I'd also need the white cooler. Plus, I just had gallbladder surgery like a week and a half ago. Maybe I should like walk before I start running again. So obviously there are a few changes to the final product here, starting off with the RAM. Now this RAM is actually for a combo deal that I picked up for next week's video, and I felt like those two builds needed to, flip-flop. So the RAM that was in this original system is going into next week's build, and next week's build's RAM is going into this build, just because it fits a little bit better. This is more RGB focused PC, so the RGB RAM fits better here, and next week's PC is a very premium non-RGB build, and I felt like it would work a lot better with that build, so I just kind of flip-flopped them. Now, even though I flip-flopped them, this one is 16 gigs of DDR4 versus the 32 gigs of DDR4. Next week's build is a much higher power PC than this one is, and I felt like 16 gigs was perfect for this system as well, versus the 32 that would go much better for the more higher powered build that we're going to be putting together next week. So basically what I'm hinting at is you should subscribe so you don't miss next week's build as well. The other big change inside of the system is the fact that I didn't keep the 1650 Super that was in our original build. I found somebody selling this 4060 for $200. $200 for 4060, that's a pretty sweet deal. I went ahead and picked that up and threw that in here. I think the fact that there is a 4060 will help us make a little bit of money off this build rather than having a 1650. The limiting factor inside of this system is the Ryzen 5 3600, which you can swap out for like a 5800X 3D and you'd have a pretty sweet gaming rig. Now, before we go over the totals and then you guys help me figure out how much we're gonna try and sell this for, I did want to show you guys just how well this system performs. Starting off with Marvel Rivals, I set the graphics setting to high and our little black and white cube here pushed out an average of 85 FPS. Jumping into Helldivers, which is a game that I definitely should spend more time playing because I'm terrible at it, but it looks like an absolute blast. We were getting an average of 59 FPS with the game set to its epic preset. In Forza 5, at the game's max settings, we're getting a very beautiful 87 FPS with buttery smooth gameplay. And lastly, I took a peek at Doom the Dark Ages because it's an extremely demanding game. And at the game's ultra preset, we were getting an average FPS of 57. Now, it is important to know that all gameplay testing that we did on our little white cube here was done at 1080p. The 4060 is a great 1080p option. Now, I also pushed these games as hard as they could possibly go. You could easily tweak these settings and get even more FPS. I'm just trying to max these things out and push it to its absolute limit. Now, for the grand total of what it cost to put this thing together right here, let me grab my notes. We paid $190 for the base system, the pre-built system that we gutted and turned into this absolutely gorgeous thing right here. I paid $200 for the 4060 graphics card, and I paid $95 for the case, the cooler, and the cables. That brings our grand total to put this system together to $485. Now that's going to bring our grand total of money that we have saved to build your PC from $2,861 down to $2,376, which is pretty crazy. In 17 PC builds, we've been able to earn $2,376. It's really awesome. Now, obviously, like I said earlier, the limiting factor is going to be the CPU. The Ryzen 5 3600, while it is still a good CPU, it is starting to show its age more and more. And the saving grace inside of the build is definitely the 4060. The 4060 is a more desirable card, definitely more desirable than the 1650 Super that was in this build. Now, because of the CPU in here, even though the performance from our system was very good, I feel like that's going to be what prevents us from making a lot of money. But I am going to need you guys to help me out. Run down to the comment section down below and let me know what you guys think an acceptable sales price for this system would be. Remember, I take all of your opinions into account and I come up with an average, and that's what I try and sell this system for. It is your series where we build you a gaming PC, so you should have a say in what we sell the computers for. Now, I'm glad we were able to put together a pretty easy build this week because I needed like a slow start to get back into it. I am still feeling a little sore from my surgery, but I am getting better. every single day. If you had a little bit of fun here with me today, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It means the world to me. I always love making new friends. And as always, remember that no matter where you are in the world, I hope that you are having the most fantastic day. And I'm gonna see you right here for the next video.